Your subconscious beliefs are the GPS navigation system for your life. Whatever you believe, whether good or bad, determines your path. Just like how you will put an address in the GPS system in your car, and it takes you there no matter what. If you reroute, if you miss a turn, it's going to reroute you. And that's exactly how your subconscious beliefs work. Psychological research shows that 95% of the time we're operating from our subconscious beliefs. Only 5% of the time are we operating consciously. So what does that mean? That means most of the time we don't even know what we're doing. We're just walking around the world like robots, operating off of old habits, old beliefs. How do we change that? You bring the subconscious to the surface. Bring the subconscious to your consciousness. And you do that by looking at the results of your life. It's not your circumstances that determine where you end up. It's not your past. It's not your experiences. It's you and your belief system. What you believe about yourself, what you believe about your experiences, what you believe is possible for you, that sets the tone for your life. Remember when you were a child and you believed, I could do anything. I could save the world. I can save the planet. I can even fly. Now try telling somebody they can save the planet. They're like, girl, I don't even recycle because separating plastic is just too much work. Let somebody tell you they can fly. What you gonna say? Girl, calm down, Superwoman. Go do your taxes somewhere. Like, at what point did we stop believing? Where did we lose that childhood expression of life and living and just being free? It's time to get that back. And I'll show you how. It's time to break those barriers that are holding you back through your belief system. I'll share with you a story about why this is so important to me and how I believe this will be the catalyst for your breakthrough. To not only dream, but actually live your dream. Picture this. Long, long ago, I'm in Dayton, Ohio, and it was a cold, rainy morning. And I was awakened by the roarous thunder. And now I love the rain, but I couldn't enjoy it because I had to run real quick, get to the restroom, and there I am praying to the porcelain gods because my stomach was upset. I was in a drunken slumber from partying and drinking and smoking all night long. And as I'm down on the toilet, something came up out of me that was unexpected. It was a question, and it demanded an answer. Is this all there is to life? That question began to haunt me for weeks. See, at the time, all I was doing was partying. Yes, I was a registered nurse. I was helping people, but deep down inside, I was dying to myself. That question haunted me. It pierced me in my soul, especially at night when I could no longer drown out my sorrows, my pain with another random hookup or the drinking or the smoking or the partying. When I was alone at night, it whispered to me, is this all there is to life? You ever felt that way? Like you knew there was so much more for you, but you were just operating in a mediocre way. Well, that question, it led me to answer it. And one day I said, no, this is not all there is to life. There's so much more for me. So I packed up all my belongings and I left. I left Dayton, Ohio. That question led me to Los Angeles, California, where we are right now. And in Los Angeles, California, this has been my journey of self-realization, self-healing, self-discovery. I needed to find myself. I needed to find what my purpose was in life. There's something magical about Los Angeles, California. It's very miraculous. It's the spirit in the air is filled with creatives, people going after their goals, people going after their dreams, people seeking to live their best life. In LA, we can get real woo-woo. And we will try a lot of things to overcome anxiety, overcome defeat, to just heal ourselves. I'm talking about I've tried sound baths, Reiki, therapy, like all the things. If you name it, I've probably tried it. Crystals, all the things. And the one thing that worked for me was prayer and meditation. I'm talking about I prayed and meditated so much, I put myself on what I call a spiritual boot camp when I turned 33. I realized I was at the age of Jesus when he died when I turned 33. And I said, what's one thing that I would regret not doing if I died at 33? And it was sharing my story so that young girls like me know that they too can make it. I prayed and meditated so much that I used to go to this meditation lounge. I was there 8 hours a day, months straight. So much so that they said, listen, girl, you just come here and volunteer. We don't even want your money. Just come for free. And in the meditation, just being in that realm so much, it reminded me of Bali, Indonesia. So it conjured up a desire for me to go to Bali, Indonesia. Because when I think of Bali, I think of, the islands of the gods and, meditation, incense burning unto the Lord and rice fields and all the things. So I went to Bali because one thing I do is make dreams come true. I went to Bali, Indonesia, and some friends and I, we were at this temple, and the priest was known to speak life into you, to allow you to see yourself in the future. And he was giving people all types of amazing futures. And then he got to me and he says, you used to be a man in your past life. I'm like, okay, I knew that one. As bossy as I am and as masculine as I can be. And I get that. I was a man in my past life. Okay, what else? And then he looks at me and says, you make good decisions. I'm waiting. I'm like, is that it? And I said, okay, what else? Because you're wrong. I don't make good decisions. I said, give me something else. He looked at me again and he said, you make good decisions. When I tell you, I almost got up, flipped the priest off, and left Bali, Indonesia altogether. I said, I didn't take the longest nonstop flight so this man can tell me I make good decisions, because apparently he don't know me. He does not know that I'm the person that will start a project, stop it, never finish. He didn't know about the times that I just didn't believe in myself. He didn't know that I walked around feeling unworthy, unlovable. He didn't know all those things about me. How could you say I make good decisions? I fought it so hard. Fast forward, I'm back in LA and I'm coaching a client. We've been working on a lot with this particular client. And we were at the point to where we were going to find out her vision, her calling, her purpose, and align the steps to get there. And she told me what her vision was. And it was very big and grandiose. And then she said, well, I don't know if that's possible for me. So I said, girl, hold up. Okay, now it's time for me to take you through the bridge method, breaking barriers through belief chart. And what that is everything that we do in life, every situation, every conversation, every event, every circumstance is filtered through this belief system. And what that is, it starts with your beliefs, what you believe. And where does beliefs come from? Beliefs come from our upbringing. Beliefs come from our past experiences. Beliefs come from our social influence, what people tell us and what's expected and what's accepted by society. In this belief system, what we believe is filtered and dictates our feelings and our emotions, how we feel about a thing. And our feelings and emotions leads to our actions, our words, and our behaviors. So I'm taking this client through this belief system. I had to give her an example so she could understand what I meant. I told her about the time where I got this amazing opportunity. I was hired to come on set and interview a lot of artists where Nipsey Hussle was on stage, and it was a big deal. And let me make sure I know who Nipsey Hussle is. Hold up. Okay, y'all know who Nipsey Hussle is? Community activist, rapper, amazing fellow Leo with the dopest lyrics ever. And I'll tell you one of his songs, which is my favorite. I listen to it all the time. It's Dedication, because I believe it is the epitome of like how you make it. I'm gonna rap for y'all a little bit. Okay. It goes, dedication, hard work plus patience. The sum of all my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. It's dedication. So that's Nipsey. That's Nipsey Hussle. And I got the opportunity to interview artists and Nipsey Hussle in the building and everything. And the people who hire me, they asked me, how much are you going to charge? I said, $250 an hour. I said, okay, bet, no problem. And at the end of the night, they had big money bags right in front of me. And they say, how much do we owe you? Now, mind you, I've been sitting there interviewing people for 6 hours, right? But my belief was that I'm just playing. I'm not worthy. What I have to offer doesn't mean anything. So therefore, my feelings was, who's gonna pay me anything? Who's gonna pay who? I didn't feel like I deserved to get paid $250 an hour. So that led to my actions, my behavior, and my words to answer them with these big money bags in front of me and say, give me $300. Yeah. Your subconscious beliefs is the GPS navigation system for your life. I didn't believe I was worthy to get $250 an hour. Spending 6 hours using my expertise, interviewing artists. So I said, give me $300. And the thing about your subconscious beliefs being your navigation system, just like how a GPS navigation system will put you back on track if you miss a turn, your beliefs will do the same thing. So as I was flourishing and out here with the stars, interviewing people, getting paid, my subconscious belief put me back on track to, I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. Give me $300. So I was showing my client this. And I said to her, you have to believe those things that are not as if they already are. And then I flashed back and I seen myself in Bali, Indonesia, and how I fought against this priest telling me I make good decisions. That's when it dawned on me. I had a subconscious belief that I made poor decisions. See, that's the first step in breaking those barriers through your belief system, is realizing those beliefs that's been holding you back, those self-limiting beliefs. So once I realized that that was a self-limiting belief, I was able to do something about it. I asked myself, I said, okay, it's time for me to flip that. Now that I realize it, what can I do about it? And just like I have this belief coin in my hand, which is, I handcrafted it, it's a belief coin. It has two sides to it. I told myself, this side right here said I make bad decisions. How do I flip that around and start making good decisions? Well, what's the opposite of I make bad decisions? Flip it, I make good decisions. Duh. So I said, okay, well, let me own that. I'm going to own that I make good decisions. Then I said, okay, well, now that I'm a person that make good decisions, what's a good decision that I can make right now? I asked myself, well, what's the one thing I complain about the most? I looked around my apartment. I was living in a little rinky-dink apartment, Koreatown, LA. And I literally had wax on the wall, red wax on the wall, because I burn candles and incense and things all that like that all the time. And I dropped a candle and the wax went flying everywhere. It made me hate the place even more. And I said, this apartment, I can't stand living here. And I said, well, what's a good decision you can make right now? I said, I'll put in a 30-day notice right now. And I wrote the 30-day notice out. I went downstairs to the mailbox and I had it in the envelope, and I was standing at the mailbox and heard a voice say, oh, I'm afraid. And then I heard the Holy Spirit say, Do it afraid. So I threw the note in the mailbox and I jumped back like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. See, that's what happens when you step out of your comfort zone and you break those barriers. The fear comes up. But feel the fear and do it anyway. So within 2 weeks of me putting in that 30-day notice, I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know if I was going to end up homeless. But within 2 weeks, I got the apartment of my dreams. So just taking that leap of faith, stepping out of my comfort zone, believing in myself, flipping that subconscious belief simply to the other side, it led me to actually living my dream, not just dreaming it. So this belief coin is a representation of the power of your beliefs. For those of you at home, grab a coin. Ask yourself, what's the one thing that's been frustrating you? Look at the results of your life. What's one thing that's been frustrating you? There's a belief behind that thing that's frustrating you. Find that belief. Flip it to the other side. And start walking in your new belief. The opposite of that. If it's I'm unworthy, flip it. I am worthy. Start walking in worthiness, talking like you're worthy, making decisions like you're worthy. And you will be, because you have the power and ability to change your beliefs. Therefore, you have the power and ability to change your life.